fortunate enough as to be able to attend this same school since grade 2. This is where everything began, and coming into this school I didn't really know how to read or write. Because I was homeschooled before then and not having a strong understanding of the alphabet, I had to take ABC Club for the entire school year. My teacher of ABC Club noticed my fast-paced learning, and I ended up graduating halfway through the year with a certificate and everything, while the others were still stuck in the club. I've made lots of forever lasting friends and learned so much from the teachers that I've had. It's interesting to see and hear some of the teachers talk about my growth. And something I've noticed, and my peers as well, is that I'm the strongest in language subjects. I didn't realize it in grade 2, being 7 years old and all, but I guess that was a small breakthrough point in my ability to learn languages pretty quickly. When I was 5 years old, I used to watch my sister do ballet, and I decided I wanted to be just like her in dance as well. I joined at about 6 years old and continued dancing for about 9 years. I learned ballet, Irish dance, hip-hop, jazz, lyrical, and modern ballet. I quit dancing in grade 8 because I wasn't very passionate about it, and I chose sports instead. Another activity I saw my sister doing was horseback riding. I loved going to watch her ride and petting her horse and feeding it, brushing it, and all that stuff until I finally decided to ride horses as well. The problem with this was that horses were strong and big, and I was very timid. I ended up getting run over by a horse and almost breaking my ribs, and I quit after that. As well as many other things, growing up I was always interested in sports. I started in middle school and played on every sports team I could, except for soccer, because I don't really like soccer. I played volleyball, basketball, badminton, and ultimate frisbee. I played sports all the way up until grade 10 and then stopped playing for my senior years because I had a job instead. Being in sports has helped me learn a lot to cooperate in teams on and off the court. Being part of a family of 7 kids is also like being in a team. We've grown up sharing duties and teaching each other how to become better at things. This has helped me a lot and will continue to help me figure out my role in teams throughout life and being able to depend on others. In my household, we have always had plenty of pets. My family has owned birds, fish, snakes, hamsters, rabbits, dogs, cats, and horses, which is probably a big contribution to me wanting to be a vet when I was younger. My mom used to breed Dachshunds, and our cats would just breed themselves.
Yeah.
Which was still exciting to me, though, and I was always the one who would assist in giving birth and making sure they were healthy babies. But the one thing that I loved was going with my mom on trips to the vet with my dog for numerous reasons, to play with other animals and to learn how to take better care of other animals. I've since decided against being a vet because I'd probably cry every time an animal had to be put down or was sick. I also thought about being a pediatrician, which is a doctor that specializes in caring for infants and newborn babies, but the same reason I'd probably cry every time a baby died. One thing that I've been more recently interested in is becoming a hairdresser or cosmetologist. I've always been a girly girl and loved doing makeovers on my friends, doing people's hair, or simply playing dress up with my siblings. It's still something that I'm interested in, but it's more along the side. If I were ever to pursue it, I would do it as a small business or just a hobby because it's not my main interest. Being a young girl, I liked to create my own languages that didn't make sense at all. I would run around my house sometimes and yell gibberish or talk to myself in different accents for fun. Yeah, I was kind of weird and it annoyed a lot of people, but my older brother told me that one day I would be really good at French. So when the day came where I was forced to take French classes, I was good at it, but because I was able to pronounce the words and just learn the basic concepts. But the problem was that I was not motivated and I thought it was really boring. The real motivation came when I switched into Spanish classes in grade 9, and right away something clicked. After 1 year of Spanish, I learned more than I'd learned in French after taking that for numerous years. I decided it would be a good idea to stick with Spanish, not having any idea where it would take me. I've even received awards for Spanish in grades 10 and 11. And throughout the years, I've also worked with language programs with Japanese students and got to do Spanish voiceovers for puppets for a missions trip to Mexico. In April of 2012, I went on a family vacation in Mazatlan to Mexico. Some of our time there was spent in days of service to people who lived in the slums. We joined joined one of the local churches and drove around the slums in a bus, handing out bags of lunches for people who lived in houses made of garbage. Most people in the slums would spend their days in the dump sites collecting garbage that they thought would be useful as resources for anything. Some of the people would not even stop for a break to eat because they thought that they would lose an opportunity in finding something useful. This trip has opened my eyes a little bit and since then I've wanted to go back and also to travel the world and connect with different cultures and helping where I can. I'd recently been blessed with the opportunity to go to Gondola Caitras Christian School in South Africa. Taking this opportunity was one of the best decisions of my life because I got to experience an entire new world and a culture of people. I got to see the lifestyles of the rich and poor, many of which were so closely connected simply by worshiping the same God. It was interesting to see the different ways they worship God, and I felt welcomed with open arms, even though I was drastically different. One thing that I loved about this trip was getting a chance to learn a bit of their native language, Chivenda, especially because a lot of people there didn't speak English, especially the poor people. Through this trip, I've learned that God has blessed even the poor with so much love and happiness, giving them a wealthy heart. Being immersed in a completely different culture was so exciting, and although I was excited to come back home, everything here just seemed boring again. After a lot of thought and consideration, I've decided that I don't want to go to university right away when I graduate. Instead, I'm going to go back to Mexico and continue to help the people in need. I know that God has given me the gift to quickly learn languages and how to communicate, and I want to put this gift to best use in multiple countries, starting with Mexico. There's a video here that's just introducing what I'll be doing in Mexico. It was working before.
We had it working before, folks, honestly. We went. Maybe, there we go.
be taking 4 months off from September to December to volunteer and live in this orphanage in Mexico. This is a big step for me, and I'm counting on God 100% with this plan. It's scary yet exciting, but so is every big step in life. One thing that I didn't do when I was horseback riding was get back on the horse when I was hurt. I've decided that I'm not going to take this approach in life anymore. Instead, I will stand up and take the horse by the reins throughout the adventures that God puts in front of me. Oh, shoot. Okay. So in December, I'll be returning home for Christmas, and if I decide that I want to continue working in Mexico, then I'll postpone university until the fall of 2014. Otherwise, I hope that in January I'll start taking Spanish courses and studying for a degree in international business at the University of Victoria. I want to study international business because they have a program where I can take 1 semester on campus and another semester in a foreign country. Eventually, I would like to work for the Canadian government in foreign countries, either with immigration services or development programs. Some of the countries I'd like to study in are located in South America, Europe, or Africa. So looking back on all my previous accomplishments and failures, I can now see that they have helped me gain a better future. I have learned how to work hard and how to be a team member in order to pursue my individual dreams. We learn a lot of things while growing up, take on a lot of interests, and change our minds quite a few times. This is just God's way of saying, look how many amazing opportunities there are for you in the world. Some people might not know what to do with themselves or know what their purpose is, but I hope that God's plan for them will be revealed in an exciting way as well as mine.